What we're going to need to do this is first of all a wheel, and this wheel is from my Nikolai bike. It's a lefty, but not that that makes any difference, and it's just a Continental Vertical Pro tyre, pretty standard Mavic 717 disc rim. This is a DT Swiss bottle, but the stuff that I actually use for that, this, which is wheel milk, which comes from Just Riding Along. Perfectly good stuff and nice and cheap. I just decant it into the small bottles because it makes it nice and convenient to use. Okay, so back over to the bench. Aside from the wheel milk, you're going to need tubes. These Schwalbe tubes are 20-inch BMX tubes. They've got Presta valve core, and the good thing about buying the Schwalbe ones is that the core is removable. To remove the core, you're probably going to need one of these, which is a valve core remover. You can also use a pair of pliers just as easily, and a couple of tyre levers, a Stanley knife, a pair of scissors, a bucket with some soapy water, a sponge and a brush, and also going to need some kitchen towel to do some drying with later. So let's begin. First thing to do is remove the tyre off the wheel. I guess everybody knows how to do that, so I won't bother recording it, and I'll be back shortly. So we're back. Here's the wheel ready to go. There's nothing special about the wheel. The rim strips being left in, just got a standard hole. And what I should add is that this is the Ghetto version of tubeless tyres. So we're not using a kit, we're just using an inner tube and the sealant. The tyre is an old tyre, as you can probably see. It's not a new tyre by any means. It's not a UST tyre, it's just a regular mountain bike tyre, and it has had a couple of punctures in the past, so there's probably the odd hole in it that the sealant's going to have to seal up once we get to that stage. So let's get the tube out. So regular BMX tube, and what we're going to do is we're going to fit that to the rim, and then we're going to inflate it, and I'll be back when I've done that. I should add at this stage that I've never actually done this before. I've fitted onto my other bikes the DT Swiss kit, done that on 4 wheels now, and that's worked fine. However, this version, what they call the Ghetto version, essentially costs £5 to do, plus a bit of sealant. That's it. And there's a pretty good website, which I'll put the address across the bottom of the screen, so you can have a look at that, which will give you some pictures on how to do it. As I say, I've never done it before, so you're seeing this for the first time, just like I am. So here's the tube fitted around the rim, regular tube at this stage, and you'll notice there's a seam that runs down the middle of the tube, so I've just tried to keep that somewhere in the middle of the wheel. And what I'm going to do now is inflate it. I've got a compressor here in my workshop, so I'm going to use the compressor to inflate it, and for that I need an adapter onto the Presta valve. So let's get it inflated and we'll see what happens. So here's the tube inflated around the rim. Looks like it'll almost ride it, I suppose. And so what we're now going to do is get the scissors and cut into the tube. So I'm going to just stop the tape, and I'm going to attempt to position the camera without holding it, so you can see how that was working out. So all being well, you can see this okay. So pair of scissors, I'm going to start at the valve, and here we go. Snip. Out comes the air. So what we're now going to do is to cut all the way around the seam that I mentioned earlier. Now, as I'm getting towards the end of this, it's starting to get a little bit tighter as it's trying to run off of the rim. Just want to be careful I don't go through both sides here. Okay, we're done. So now we just need to overlap equally onto both sides of the rim. So just running the finger around to put the rubber down into the rim. And there we go. This is how it now looks with the tube either side. So next thing to do is to wash off this talcum powder, hence the bucket and the sponge. Okay, so we're all washed off, plenty of soapy water on there. I'm just going to grab some kitchen towel and use that not so much for drying it apparently, but to just get rid of all the talcum powder. I'm guessing the reason for getting rid of the talc is something to do with the sealant, so that later on talc doesn't interfere with it sealing up any holes you might get. I don't know, I can't think of any other reason for it. So there we go. Nice clean tube. So the next step apparently is to fit the tube, the tyre rather, onto the rim. So we're going to do that, and I'll be back when done.